Sup, gamers? Hope you guys are having. I'm on a dude thing. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Ooh, here we go again with these people. Avengers Endgame's women deserve more. Okay, so there are gonna be spoilers in this video. I don't want I would try and go through the article without getting into spoilers, but in order for my rant for this to make sense, I kind of do need to go into spoilers. So guys, please skip out on this video if you haven't seen the movie. You will not hurt my feelings one bit. It's totally fine. I understand. This is a movie that has to be experienced. I hope none of you guys get it spoiled for you. One of my friends got it spoiled, and I feel really bad for him. So please, you will not hurt my feelings at all if you skip out on this video. There are going to be spoilers. I'm going to say it again really loud. Spoilers! So guys, feel free. Skip out on this video. You will not hurt my feelings one bit at all. Okay, so here we go. Avengers Endgame's women deserve more. Here we go. Avengers Endgame was a riot of flashy fights and fan service with enough humor thrown in to sometimes feel like a great comedy. It was silly and nonsensical, but above all, it was entertaining. And when it needed to be a hit emotional, dramatic beats, it usually nailed them. It nailed them 100%. I can tell you guys that. It nailed it. Nailed it. Yet there are at some points in the movie in the film where I found myself distracted by the sheer inundation. I can't say that word, I'm sorry. Oh, inundation, I guess that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. Of fun when it became clear that many of the many-powerful heroines of the piece weren't quite on par with the heroes. They were props. They were there to support the stories. The guys, Endgame did its women no favors, and it's time we talked about it. What? Sorry, there was a pause there because I was just processing that big hunk of stupid right there. They all got a lot of love, okay? They focused on the main 6 Avengers, which, yeah, are dudes. But it needed to focus on the original 6. That's what it needed. That's what we got. And they're complaining about it because this movie isn't woke enough for them. The Russo brothers and the writers did a phenomenal job. Okay? I guess there's this thing right here. Yeah, spoiler warning. So if you guys didn't hear me before, there's this tag right here. Spoiler warning. So here we go. I'm getting into... There's going to be spoilers because this is the only way I can actually talk about this article without getting my thoughts across and all that. So just, here we go. Spoiler warning up here. Spoiler warning. Spoilers. Getting in. Go. The point that drove this home was when, for me, actually a moment I've seen praised by others. Captain Marvel returns from her 2 hours here status in the film to collect the Infinity Gauntlet from Peter Parker. Sure, he did it. He and the audience just saw her destroy Thanos' ship in a heartbeat, but he still asks how she'll get through the entire army to deliver the gauntlet where it needs to be. We then get a big splashy shot of almost every single woman in the film, cheeks puffed and heroically and lit by murky sun through a cloud of debris. I guess that's debris. Yeah, debris. Yeah, that's how you, or debris. I don't know. There are so many women among them that are 2 of the most powerful characters in the film, not named Thanos. But it's just a brief shot, and one feels more like something menting out of a diversity cookie than lifting up a group of characters who almost always take a back seat in both the film's narrative and its marketing. Right there. No, this film was focusing on the original 6 and the original people we had here. Just because the women didn't get all the spotlight in the world doesn't make it a bad film or that the writers were racist or sexist or anything like that. They were focusing on the characters they needed to, and that's all they needed to do. So again, the scene I was talking about in my spoiler review, again, spoilers. If you made it this far, you already got the spoilers. So here we go. That scene It did feel forced, but at the same time, it also didn't at the exact same time, which is why I couldn't really give it like a full 100%. It did feel forced, but it also, again, it didn't at the exact same time. What I wish they did instead was they had all the heroes go up like that, like with the original 6. But hey, it's fine. Ultimately, the women did not do a little more than look cool by some time before Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor did the real work. Because this was their movie. It was their this was their villain. This was their end of the story, not these other characters. I would have been like, I want to go on a rant so bad, but I'm gonna. I know you guys probably want to hear me rant, but I gotta contain myself as of right now because I've been doing a lot of rant videos and I need to take a small back seat on that. There's a point absence from the Table Lua, I forgot, okay. Tableau, the original Women Avenger, Black Widow, isn't there. She died an hour earlier. Yes, she died, guys. She died. But I can tell you right now, I was very upset that she died because I loved her character so much. And to see her go was really upsetting to me. It was sad because she was just such a good character. And that was like the first time I'm just like, oh crap, they're going for it. They're going for it. There's no stopping them. They're going for those emotional beats. The Black Widow problem. Black Widow was really good in this movie. I would just have paid for a ticket for her in this film. This is not the first time Black Widow has been the point of contention. The female founding member of the MCU's Avengers previously had a storyline that was deeply problematic. What was problematic about it? Again, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, there's been spoilers. I'm just spoiling the whole film now. I'm sorry. It just helps me make my points. It was not problematic. She had an amazing sacrifice in the film, and I loved it. And I was really sad to see her go. This movie's indescribable, guys. I can't describe it or anything. You just have to experience it. This isn't okay. The female it was okay. In Joss Whedon's directed Age of Ultron, the character does a little more than fairy folks and their things around and admits she can never truly love or settle down because her deep, dark assassin secret is she's sterilized in the Black Widow program. Who would have thought that would end up being one of her meter moments in the MCU films? After performing a little more than a cameo in Infinity War, Natasha shows up for Endgame as a woman haunted by her failures and desperate to protect what little of humanity remains. Yeah. They're getting this right, but they're going down. While the men of the Avengers have gone off to find themselves, or a family, or a 6-pack of beer, she's hunkered down and built a network of the remaining heroes, which is pretty great. She is the only Avenger really going to do something, and when they decide to get back on the band together, so they can quantum tunnel to their way to the past to save the universe. I'm trying to read this really well. I'm sorry. She is the one who volunteers to pick up Hawkeye, who has gone full edgelord. He lost his family. He lost everything. What more did he have left? Oh, shoot. I lost my spot. Yeah, okay. Who has gone full edgelord and is murdering his way through the other nations. Ostensibly, I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce that. To stop criminals who are randomly lucky enough to survive the end of Infinity War. Hawkeye winds up being Black Widow's partner for the time heist, and the two head to Vormir, where last we saw Thanos sacrificing Gamora. Yeah. Tracking it down, They soon realize the only way to claim the stone is for one of them to sacrifice, that which is what they love. Sorry, I can't. I'm trying to read this really well. So if I come up like a robot trying to read this, I'm sorry. It's like reading isn't the most natural thing that comes to me. And I know me reading these articles, I gotta read it to you guys. So please bear with me. It's just something that's not I'm really really good at. So if I'm reading it kind of weird, that's just how I read things. So here we go. I'm going back. That which they love. Okay, where was I? Yeah, okay. One would presume Hawkeye would be the all out of the sacrifice that. Oh yeah, okay. One would presume Hawkeye would be all out of sacrifices. That which he loves most is his family, and they all got snapped away in the first 2 minutes of the movie. In fact, his whole story until this point is that he's a man with nothing left to lose. And you would assume Natasha, who was visibly upset by Hawkeye's descent into darkness, cares enough about him that he could maybe be the thing she loves most. But the film kills Black Widow instead. The scene plays as if the two friends trying to sacrifice themselves so the other doesn't die. But in an interview with the New York Times, screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely make it clear that Natasha really wanted to die because she wanted to see all her Avenger boys happy. Yeah, she sacrificed herself because it was a noble deed, and it was fantastic. I loved it. It was again. I thought either way, if one of them died, I would have been just as upset because I loved both those characters from both the comics, TV shows, and the movies. Her journey in our minds had come to an end, and if she could get the Avengers back, McFeely said, it was melodramatic to have Hawkeye die and not get his family back, and it was only right to the proper that she's done. Marcus added, when the New York Times branched out the subject of the Vormir death race, these responses on highlight the very massive diverse of the film does its women characters. Hawkeye gets to live because he has a family. Natasha, the sterile woman who comes from a bad home, gets to die because her greatest wish is that her found family of hero boys will be happy. No, she did it because they were her family, and she sacrificed herself for them. And that was the message. I don't know how you get this out of that, but oh my gosh. Wow, is this stupid. She is there to prop him up and get the others the other men up. Her character arc amounts to the arc her body makes as it plummets to the ground. And it was so sad. Halfway through Endgame, founding female members of the Avengers is dead, with zero resolution of any of her stories. Presumably, the many unanswered questions of her past will be addressed in her solo movie. But also, presumably, the movie will be a flashback. This is a bitter pill to swallow, and it's made me even more bitter when a remorse Hawkeye returns to the present alone, and you realize the only two characters who didn't make it out of the past are also the only female members of the team. What? The Nebula problem. Okay, honestly, basically this is just them listing the cat. Okay, I'm gonna do the Captain Marvel problem. The Nebula problem. I didn't have a problem with Nebula's character. She was really good. I didn't like her that much in the first two Guardians films, but she was really good in this one. I really enjoyed her character arc. It was just really good. Okay, let's see. Where's the Captain Marvel problem? Captain Marvel problem. The Captain Marvel film premiered last month, and it has already earned over $1 billion, like Black Panther. It's something of a phenomenon, and Brie Larson has been on non-stop press tour since well before its premiere. It's not a phenomenon at all. It's nowhere near as good as Black Panther, and Black Panther has a lot of problems. It is far from being a good MCU. It's definitely the worst MCU film, and is without a doubt not a phenomenon at all. People only went to see it because of Endgame. Larson has been on. In the majority of the press events, she's been the woman Disney has put forward both as the new face of the hero-ness of the franchise, as a new face of the franchise itself. It was safe to assume that she was going to play a role in the Endgame, through maybe not a huge one, given the need for the film to also be a swan song for a number of older and popular characters. Okay, but what the film ends up doing with the character feels like disservice. No, she got the appropriate amount of screen time. Rather than, okay, you know what? This, I can't. Basically, I can know what they're going to say. They're going to say, she was only for 15 minutes. She didn't take down Thanos, you know? That's a disrespect to the character. No. This film was about Nebula, Gamora, Scarlet Witch, and it wasn't about them. But it was about these three, the women that needed the spotlight the most were these three characters. And it made perfect sense. And Okoye, yeah, she didn't necessarily get sidelined, but she did her job. And I really much enjoyed her character in this movie. But they all got their moment to shine in this film. Okay? Again, I'm going to keep saying this. This movie was not about the Captain Marvel or any of these newer characters. This was about the original six and their struggles with this. They all got their moment to shine in the end. So what are you complaining about? Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. Please, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. I'm very much interested. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.